Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to tweak and optimize the About section on your LinkedIn profile to get the right people to contact you. Now you might want to ask yourself, what is the importance of the About section? Well, the About section of your LinkedIn profile is where you can write a little bit longer about yourself, where you can get into a little bit more detail about the value you're able to provide to whoever is looking at your LinkedIn profile. Sadly, this is often a section where a lot of people choose to talk about themselves without really considering the reader. I want you to avoid that mistake by quite simply focusing on 5 key questions. I want you to imagine that you're having a conversation with someone in a social setting, might be a cafe or a restaurant, and they don't know anything about you. And then all of a sudden they ask, so what do you do? I want you to then get into answering that question by focusing on answering, what can I do for you? That's the key question I want you to answer in your About section. After you've answered that question, someone else might ask, so how do you work? You can take that question and rephrase it to, what is my process? And then I want you to break that down into specific steps that you use every single time for every client that you work with. Now you might think that every client situation is different, that you change the way that you work for every single person. However, you might identify that there are certain things you do repeatedly every single time. I know this because I've spoken to a lot of different professionals in a variety of different fields, and everyone tends to do the exact same 3 steps. The first one is trying to identify a problem. Secondly, trying to suggest a solution. And thirdly, support the implementation. So once you've been able to break down what your specific 3 steps are, or maybe there's more than 3 steps, break them down into your profile. The third question I want you to answer is, who have I worked with before? Who have you worked with before? And the importance of this question is very, very clear, because once you answer that question, whoever is looking at your profile who might have similarities to the person that you are describing might go, oh, they have worked with someone like me. Maybe they can help me solving my problems. After you've answered that question, I want you to get into asking and answering the question, why would you want to work with me? Now that question might seem a little bit hard because it might be difficult to very clearly identify what makes you unique and different from anyone else. However, what you can do is look at the recommendations that might be elsewhere in your LinkedIn profile, or you might have them on your website, and see what your customers say repeatedly about working with you. That is the answer to that question. And finally, I want you to ask and answer the question, what is the easiest way to get in contact with you? Once you have done that, you have created a logical argument for why someone would want to get in contact with you. So to show you a practical example of this, let's get into the profile of Alex Cody Foster. He is a best-selling ghostwriter, and if we get into his About section, we see that he has broken it down into 5 key sections. The first one is, what can I do for you? And he basically gets into the type of services that he does and the type of benefits he's able to provide for his clients. Then he asks, what does the process look like? And he breaks down everything from the first hour informal call down to pitching to agents. Then, who have I worked with before? He gets into the type of clients that he has worked with. He gets into the type of projects that he has worked on. And then, why would you want to work with me? He gets into a paragraph where he describes this. And then in the end, how can we get started? So here you see that by just reading the headers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're able to understand what this About section is trying to convey, and it's very easy to read. So I would strongly suggest that when you put together your About section, what you want to do is you want to create a clear, concise, logical argument like this. Okay, now in summary, in order for you to create a really solid about section, focus on the reader of your about section and try to create a logical argument for why they would want to speak with you by answering 5 key questions. What can I do for you? How do I work? Who have I worked with before? Why would you want to work with me? And what is the easiest way to get in contact with me? I hope you found that useful. I'll get back to you with additional videos on how you can advance your career.